Dillon Gabriel was just named the Brown starter, but instead, he took another shot at shit.
It's just part of it. You know, there's entertainers and there's competitors, and I totally understand that. And my job is to compete, and that's what I'm focused on doing. Of course, we're doing this mid-game, but you know, it's something that I'll get used to, and just want to be the best teammate I can. And
picture this: the NFL just flipped into chaos mode. Dillon Gabriel, the quarterback who thought he could say anything without consequence, is now facing suspension after throwing shade at Shedeur Sanders that rocked the entire league. Fans are in meltdown mode, coaches are scrambling, and social media? It's an inferno. What did Dillon actually say? And why does it feel like the NFL just turned into a reality show? Buckle up. This drama makes last season look like a practice run.
Ready for that moment, and I think, you know, I smile because it's like a moment you prep for, and you are extremely excited for, but also got to realize that it's extremely close, and that's what I'm continuing to harp on. But you wait for the perfect time, you know, you're gonna wait a whole lifetime. For me, I'm just avoiding.
If you're enjoying, please subscribe Shedeur Sanders to the channel. It helps more than you think. The NFL just spiraled into full-blown chaos, all thanks to Dillon Gabriel, who apparently mistook live national TV for his comedy debut. The problem? His jokes bombed harder than a canceled pilot, and the punchline wasn't harmless fun. It was aimed straight at Shedeur Sanders, the star, the sensation, the walking highlight reel himself. Now, what was supposed to be humor has turned into headline-fueled backlash that's got the entire league buzzing.
I don't even think about nothing. I don't think about anything. If it's not words or anything, you know, at this point, it can't do anything to me. You know, I know, you know, the God put the ability and the power within me to not even think about nobody else's comments, not care. It is what it is. I spoke with him. He said, nah, bro, that wasn't. He said, that wasn't. He told me on the plane. He came up, he was like, nah, bro, that wasn't at you. I see how they trying to spin. I'm like, oh, all right. I'm not tripping, regardless of whatever it was. Nobody's words or anything affects me, you know? So, yeah.
Did you believe him when he told you it wasn't on you?
Did I believe him?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you're trying to start stuff.
And yes, it was Dillon's genius move to roast Shedeur on live TV, because nothing says great career planning like poking a hornet's nest while wrapped in gasoline. Fans went from calm to chaotic in seconds. Social media didn't just react. It detonated, exploding with memes, outrage, and disbelief. And through it all, Shedeur, cool as ever. He didn't have to clap back or defend himself. The smile said it all.
Have you ever heard of an audition, Dillon Gabriel?
there's entertainers and there's competitors, and my job is to compete.
You don't know that competition exists everywhere? That's just a dumb, idiotic, entitled statement.
Whoa.
You want to play in front of empty stands? You want to play when nobody's watching? Good luck, bro. Hope you can play under duress and adversity, because it's coming your way after those comments.
Whoa.
He doesn't chase clout. Clout practically trips over itself trying to get in his way, like it's got a meeting with destiny. Now let's rewind to grasp the full scope of this bold disaster. Dillon Gabriel, the rookie QB, casually stretching and scrolling like it's any other day, probably stumbles upon a Shedeur Sanders highlight lighting up the internet. And that's when his overconfidence kicks in.
I disagree with you. I think he was taking a shot at Shedeur. Name the time you've ever heard someone say there are entertainers and there are competitors, and I'm here to compete.
Let's say he's taking a shot at Shedeur, right? At what point has he been an entertainer? He's a football player as well.
But we've heard people say that's what he's more interested in doing. Plus, we've heard this before.
Okay.
And sometimes it seeps out when you've been around people and they perceive other people as that. If you're not careful, you'll repeat what you've heard someone say about someone. Why did he have to throw the entertainer aspect?
When Dillon spoke, he said something about entertainers and competitors, and his intended target was the media, or so he claimed. The audience, however, got one look at the delivery and immediately understood that this wasn't subtle. There was shade, there was a jab, there was a complete and total career misfire. Shedeur Sanders fans instantly mobilized like a mix of elite FBI agents, meme artisans, and amateur detectives all rolled into one. Every frame of Dillon's reaction was captured, magnified, and turned into digital folklore before he even had time to swallow his Gatorade. The funniest part, Dillon didn't even realize the storm he'd unleashed until it was too late. He tried to clarify at a press conference, fumbling through explanations like a quarterback trying to scramble against a blitz he didn't see coming. "I meant the media are entertainers and I'm a competitor." Sure, Dillon, we get it. But explaining it after the fact doesn't undo the spectacle you just created. It's like trying to patch a sinking ship with duct tape and a prayer. The leaks are everywhere. The screenshots endless, and the memes are now a permanent part of NFL history.
So today, Dillon Gabriel came out and he started off by saying, there's entertainers and there's competitors. He sent a slick shot at Shedeur Sanders. But Shedeur Sanders last week threw 2 touchdown passes, and today you had Dillon Gabriel, and everyone's making all the excuses in the world for him. He threw a pick 6 and he lost a fumble. So will you take 0 touchdowns and 2 turnovers, or will you take 2 touchdowns and 0 turnovers from Shedeur Sanders, which he had over a 100 and something. Shedeur had over a 100 and something QBR rating versus Dillon Gabriel had a 72. But when it comes to...
And let's talk about why this disaster happened in the first place. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a football player. He's an empire wrapped in a helmet. Ratings go up when he touches the ball. Stadiums sell out just to watch him stretch before the snap. The man could roll up late, wink at the cameras, and fans would still chant his name like he just cured a global problem. So when Dillon decided to poke at him, he wasn't just poking a player. He was poking a full-blown cultural phenomenon. A walking, talking, touchdown-producing headline. And guess what? The explosion was instant. Dillon Gabriel might have some skill, he's not a scrub. He can throw, he can scramble. He probably even remembers where the end zone is most of the time. But talent doesn't protect you from bad judgment. And this bad judgment? It wasn't a minor misstep. It was a full-blown cinematic-scale disaster. The kind of move that will be replayed endlessly. Not for skill, but for comedy, tragedy, and pure disbelief. People will look back on this and say, remember the day Dillon Gabriel tried to roast Shedeur Sanders and ended up roasting himself on a national stage? Yes, we will remember. The aftermath is beautiful chaos. Overnight, Dillon went from rising star to case study and cautionary tales. Shedeur didn't even need to lift a finger. He didn't tweet. He didn't post. He didn't...
Now, this is my opinion. You can take it however you want to, take that statement, whatever. But I'm taking it just like everybody else taking it, because everybody else is posting it. ESPN, Cleveland, Chops, Cleveland Browns, they self-posting them clips saying exactly what Dillon Gabriel saying. Hey, you can take it how you want to take it. I'm telling you right now, I find it funny too, Dillon, that every time you got to speak and you get one up on Shedeur, you always got to take a shot. Now look, you can take it however you want to take it.
He didn't do anything except perform at his usual level, which is to say spectacularly. Silence with style, as they say, is the ultimate power move. Dillon just volunteered as the main course. Meanwhile, the narrative isn't staying confined to sports media. This is now pop culture. Entertainment blogs, social media influencers, late-night comedy, it's everywhere. The sheer irony is delicious. Now let's talk about context. NFL scouts and coaches aren't just looking at stats anymore. They're watching character, poise, and leadership. What did Dillon just demonstrate on live TV? That under pressure, or really in the presence of anyone remotely famous, he might melt down in HD while millions watch. Scouts are whispering in locker rooms. Yeah, he can throw, but will he survive live TV? That's not the kind of report a rookie QB wants circulating. Of course, Dillon didn't stop at one disaster. Oh no. He compounded it with half-hearted clarifications, awkward interviews, and the kind of PR damage control that reads like a poorly written soap opera. Expect long Instagram posts full of ellipses, desperate apologies, and maybe even puppy photos to try and regain favor.
I think whoever put that clip out there the way that they did, I think that was disingenuous. I thought it was unfair to
lot of
Dillon
people
Gabriel.
did, for the record. ESPN,
the NFL Network.
Like that was
Schefter.
That was
guys, that's what they do. And that's who he's talking about, by the way. He's not talking about us. He's talking about the Adam Schefters of the world and the national reporters that are making this more than it is. That's what he's talking about. Now, I have to be perfectly honest here. I'm not convinced yet that he wasn't talking about Shedeur. I'm not. I don't know. He clarified it and said.
Meanwhile, Shedeur just keeps stacking yards, touchdowns, and highlights, leaving Dillon to scramble, backpedal, and pray for internet mercy. Spoiler alert, the internet doesn't do mercy. Let's zoom out and admire the absurdity. Dillon's insult wasn't clever, not even slightly. If you're going to risk your budding career live on national television, you better bring wit, flair, or at least a little spark. What we got instead was verbal plain bread with no sauce. Soggy, flavorless, and instantly regrettable. The real lesson here isn't just don't mess with Shedeur Sanders. It's also, think before you speak in front of cameras. Especially when your target's fan base makes the Secret Service look like amateurs. Dillon didn't just fail. He walked into the pattern and became the headline. He moved from rising talent to internet legend for all the wrong reasons. Faster than you can say pick six. Now, the timing couldn't have been worse. Dillon's trying to establish himself in the NFL, earn playing time, and climb the depth chart. But he thought a live TV insult would somehow boost his stock. Instead, every snap he takes now comes with an invisible asterisk reading, "Remember the day you insulted Shedeur Sanders?" Fans will heckle, commentators will replay it, opponents will whisper it. It's the gift that keeps giving, except it's giving Dillon headaches, not touchdowns. Shedeur, on the other hand, continues to thrive.
Everyone's like, it's his first game. Dude, it's not that serious. His first game, he had a good game. But when it came to Shedeur Sanders, if Shedeur would have threw a pick and fumbled the ball, you guys would have let him have it on the internet. So I'm just here to say, man, Shedeur needs to move up on that depth chart after this horrible performance. I don't care how many yards you threw, how accurate you were. You threw a pick six and you fumbled, and you didn't throw not one single touchdown pass. It's obvious who was the best quarterback in the Browns locker room. There's no arguing that. And to put icing on the cake, Dillon lined up today with a first-team offensive line versus Shedeur lined up with a third team.
This is the ultimate flex. He doesn't need to respond, doesn't need to tweet, doesn't even need to acknowledge Dillon exists. He just performs, smiles, and lets the world amplify the chaos. It's a masterclass in strategy, patience, and brand dominance. He turned a potential slight into free publicity, while Dillon burned bridges, credibility, and reputation. In a single interview, Dillon photoshopped into every imaginable scenario of failure. It's a buffet of hilarity. People aren't just laughing. They're archiving, remixing, and celebrating the spectacle. He didn't just become a story, he became a genre. The longer-term consequences? Potential suspension, PR nightmares, fan backlash, and a permanent highlight reel of mistakes. Scouts may hesitate. Teammates may question leadership. Coaches may sigh in existential dread. Meanwhile, Shedeur's stock continues to rise. Every touchdown, every highlight reel, every media appearance cements his untouchable aura. He didn't fight. He didn't tweet. He just exists, and the world hums in response. In the end, Dillon Gabriel's attempt at a viral moment didn't just fail. It exploded into an unforgettable chapter in NFL lore. The man wanted clout, attention, maybe even a little intimidation factor. Instead, he got memes, trending hashtags, and a living lesson in humility.
Say, oh, he ain't talking about Shedeur. But look, this is my channel, this is my opinion, this is what I'm talking about, and he definitely taking a shot at Shedeur. Because everybody posting, you wait for the perfect time, knowing well Shedeur Sanders got a song called Perfect Time. You wait for the perfect time, you're going to be waiting your whole life. Think about that now. Think about that now. Dillon Gabriel had to choose perfect time and then wait your whole life. What we been waiting on? Shedeur Sanders, 12, to become the starter, to play for the Browns, to get an opportunity to show what he can do. We've been waiting this whole time. What Shedeur still doing?
His name will now forever be linked to a single moment of chaos. A cautionary tale of what happens when ambition meets poor judgment in HD. And the beauty of it all? Shedeur Sanders didn't even lift a finger. He continues stacking highlights, earning accolades, and letting the world generate the narrative. Dillon threw shade, but Shedeur threw history. Remember, if you're ever tempted to roast Shedeur Sanders on live TV, just don't. It's not a challenge. It's a career hazard. The internet doesn't forgive. And Dillon Gabriel, he's officially a legend in chaos. And just when you think the chaos couldn't get any worse for Dillon, it does. Because now every interaction he has, every press conference, every sideline interview, is a high-stakes minefield. Journalists don't even ask normal questions anymore. They're measuring his stress levels, watching for the exact moment regret physically manifests on his face. How do you feel about your comments on Shedeur Sanders? Is no longer a question, it's a ceremonial ritual, a weekly public test of composure, like a gladiatorial arena with a microphone instead of a sword. And Dillon? He's the unwilling participant in a circus he volunteered for.
First game in the NFL, first time a mic has been in front of your face as a starting quarterback, and you use that to throw a shot at your teammate. Regardless if y'all competing, he's your teammate. And I think you caught it because you said you want to be the best teammate that you can. And then you went to the press conference after the game and tried to clean it up even more. You're undersized, you turn the ball over. You're not that guy. Yes, you could be serviceable in the NFL, but you don't have the cachet to throw people under the bus, especially publicly, and especially when they don't turn the ball over. But I don't want to turn it.
Meanwhile, social media has evolved from commentary to full-blown historiography. Every gesture, every smirk, every twitch of his eyebrow has been captured and archived. TikTok users are creating mini documentaries. Meme accounts are comparing him to historical disasters, and YouTube compilation videos are being uploaded faster than the NFL can post highlights. His attempts at damage control are met with side-eye from the very people who are supposed to have his back. Every team meeting now starts with a collective unspoken question. Did you learn nothing from Shedeur Sanders? It's a rhetorical question, and the answer is painfully visible in real time. And of course, this spills into the fantasy football realm. Shedeur owners are popping champagne. Dillon owners are Googling life insurance. The man has officially become a plot twist in weekly rankings, a cautionary tale in group chats, and a digital meme factory. Fantasy analysts are using his meltdown as a teaching moment. Here's what not to do if you're a quarterback in a Shedeur Sanders universe. It's a textbook. It's sociology. It's a comedy. And Dillon's name? Cemented.
My whole Instagram feed was about, did Dillon Gabriel take a shot at Shedeur Sanders? We're gonna make a decision on this, okay? So the quote was, he was asked about handling all the noise in the quarterback competition, right? He said there are entertainers and there are competitors, and I totally understand that. And my job is to compete, and that's what I'm focused on doing. Of course, we're doing this interview mid-game, and it's something I'll get used to, and I just want to be the best teammate that I can be and create an environment where we can all do our best work. That's all we want to do. And so a lot of people interpreted that as a shot at Shedeur Sanders, and you saw people ran wild with that.
Let's talk about PR strategy, or the lack thereof. Dillon's camp is probably drafting an apology titled, "I didn't mean it." But the problem is, no one believes it. The internet smells desperation faster than a linebacker sniffing out a QB. Dillon isn't negotiating with an audience. He's negotiating with a hive mind that thrives on humiliation and laughs at poorly worded apologies. The more he tries to explain, the deeper he buries himself. And while Dillon Gabriel might have intended to make a statement, he ended up creating a cultural phenomenon. Clips of the incident are being dissected in sports bars, classrooms, and living rooms nationwide. Parents are showing their kids what career suicide in HD looks like. Memes are being turned into t-shirts, stickers, and possibly NFTs by next week. The man didn't just fail at trash talk. He elevated it into an art form of chaos. And somewhere, Shedeur Sanders is probably smiling, knowing that the media, the fans, and the entire internet just became unpaid PR agents for his greatness.